Grizzlies this time. Dana Matthews taking the lead in that call. Mickey Miller and Trevor Lalisti and John Gabla back into the three-pod, ready to make the attack. It goes deep. Picked up well by Tamanaka Tei. And Ulisti now making meters. Oh, the big prop rumbling downfield. He's not brought down yet. Finally tackled inside the 22. And it is out to Tumasimi. Tumasimi looking wide. Gets it out to Santiago now. No, that's Matt Mashad. And Mashad is in for a try time, putting 5 more points on the board for the Grizzlies.
Try scored by number 15, Matt Mashad.
Great run by Alisti there, setting up the easy try with the defense on the back foot. Tumasime from the left side with the kick. Folks, at least he has lost at least from last year, I think. And that run right there is indicative. 8-0 the score.
Coast leads 8-0 over Northeast.
Tumasimi does not make his conversion, but still the Grizzlies have a nice lead over the Rhinos. Let's go, Northeast! Miller's kick, he's trying to keep it short, goes into Alisti's hands, Alisti into Giachi, and Giachi cannot bring him down, needs a little help there. Miller clears out now to Makate, and he coughs it up in contact. No advantage gain there. There was a knock on actually by a Rhino trying to knock that ball out of his hands.
Northeast put in.
Northeast is going to get, Grizzlies are going to get to put in there. Mickey Miller's got a lot of running room over here on this right side of him. And got Jacob Jenkins, who's a superb try scorer from yesterday. Got a brace by himself yesterday. Just seems to know where the holes are going to be at. Wolf with it in. Back to Miller. Wolf calling for it. Miller now taking it straight up. Gash Glider and Tazi tackle him after a meter. Now Tumasime. He give and go, and his support's just not there. Jacob Jenkins, though, cleans up, presents good ball, but he has knocked it on in contact. Actually, that's Jonah Wolf knocked it on in contact.
Pacific Coast knock on.
So it's going to be a Rhino scrum.
Northeast put in.
Rhinos did well there, turning that scrum just enough to keep the 8-man from being a factor. That could have gone the other way had they not done that. Oliveira definitely putting a drive on the Trevor Releasney, and that's something to be said. Miller now taking it up the middle himself. Spoiled scrum there by the Grizzlies, but Rhino still got it out. Now Cochran. Cochran driving up, making meters. He's up 10 meters now. Tazi takes it out, and he finds Kyle O'Connor. O'Connor being a big factor yesterday for the Rhinos. Giachi clearing out John Gray, but Gray has already picked up the ball. Now John Gabla Wolf slides it out to Leasney. Leasney, not one to really give up the ball, but then he doesn't need to because he's such a powerful runner. Wolf. Show and go from Wolf. Wolf steps back to the inside. He's got support. He gives to Dana Matthews, the hooker. The hooker gives outside. Has Jacob Jenkins on the wide side. And Jenkins in for another try for the Grizzlies.
An outstanding run from Dana Matthews, the hooker, offloading to the wing. Jacob Jenkins for the try.
Beautiful stuff there from the Grizzlies. Just gotta love team trials like that. Wolf seeing a little seam at the post and pillar. Show and go from Wolf outside. He steps back to the inside, has support from Matthews. Matthews puts on the jets for about 25 meters and then knows that he's being closed in on by 5 Rhinos. Feeds out to Jacob Jenkins, who is sure to score the try when he's catching that ball at pace. Tumasimi's kick is up and good.
And
that brings the score 15-0.
Is good. This brings the score in favor of Pacific Coast, 15-0 over the Rhinos.
Long kick deep by Miller now. And it's into Mickey Miller's hands. Miller, so powerful yesterday on defense, making meters for the Grizzlies. Now Dominic Salvatierra. Now straight forward is Isaac Carroll. Jeremy Santiago, a little show and go, steps through. He makes some time and space before his forwards get there so he can maintain possession. And now Julius Williams around to that left side. Coming back to Leasney. Leasney up to the gain line. And he's tackled up by the Rhinos. But there's a dangerous tackle call that was advantage was on for.
Yeah.
No advantage gained. And we're back to penalty.
Well, I stopped recording on straight onto the G drive because I was trying to save up some.
All right. Little technical difficulties there, and we're back to it. Tumasime looking, and he's asking his forwards what they want. Mickey Miller says, let's have a scrum. We're feeling good about this. So it's going to be a Grizzlies put in, and their exit strategy will probably be to run. Yesterday, they didn't look to be exiting from their end of the goal by kicking too much. Scrum platform already a little unstable on this side and brought down by the Rhinos loose head, but no advantage gained. Jacobs now stepping to the outside. Jacobs is rolled up and smart move by Kyle O'Connor there, making sure he's got the man in check. O'Terre driving forward now. Miller. Tay there with the clean out. Out to Elisi. Elisi, show and go from the big man. But Davidovitz is not fooled. Tumasime. Now out. And Jeremy Santiago is met hard, and the ball's knocked on by his defender. So scrum to the Grizzlies.
Knock on by the Rhinos. Scrum, Pacific Coast put in.
At least he's already being bored into by Oliveira. And Miller's up with the ball. Now Rhinos have possession. Nice steal there. Tazi has it out. But knocked on by Martell. That's a rare knock on by Andy Martell there.
Knock on. Scrum. It will be the Grizzlies put in.
Put in by Wolf here. Oliveira, excuse me, that's not Oliveira. They've already put Alex Treat.
Resetting the scrum. Once again, folks, the score is in favor of Pacific Coast, 15-0.
Matt Stapleton has come in for the Rhinos at Loosehead Prop, and that change is very evident as at least he's driving him all over the place. And Stapleton cannot seem to get his knees down to prevent that. Nice little push by the Grizzlies. Tumasimi on the loop. Out to Mashad. Mashad with pace. Meets O'Connor, and O'Connor does him some injustice. Wolf out. Tumasimi hit hard by Spear and somehow retains possession. Now Tay hit hard by Davidovitz. O'Tear now picks it up. And the Grizzlies in unfamiliar territory here being driven back. Jonah Wolf kicks it into touch to give them a little release.
We're going to have a line out. Rhinos throw in. Kick behind the 22.
Tyler Hill coming up to take the throw in for the Rhinos. Nodo's up. It's a bad throw, but tapped out by Gash Glider. And Miller taking it straight up into his forwards to settle the run. Now Max Cook gets a nice run, rolls over Danon Matthews. Miller outside to Martell. Martell spinning it around to Masime. But he's tackled up by Miller. Miller with a bridge pass out, and it's taken by Jeremy Santiago, and nobody's going to catch him going to goal. With the splash, Santiago gets another 5 points, bringing it to 20-0.
Number 13, Jeremy Santiago.
And we talked all day yesterday about those bridge passes being inadvisable, and that right there for Miller shows just why they flowed a little bit too much in this wind and gave Santiago all the time in the world to judge it and get up in the air for it. I'm sure I'm drinking enough water. 2 days out of heat for a guy who's had heat exhaustion before. I'm good. Tumasimi with another kick lined up directly in front of the post, and he has the sticks up again. That's halftime, folks. Score is 22-0. Grizzlies over the Rhinos.
Is good. At halftime, the Pacific Coast Grizzlies are in the lead, 22-0. Following this match will be LoneStar versus Mid-South. Then we will take a lunch break and come back. And we will have the game right after lunch, Northeast versus
What does
South.
life insurance have to do with rugby?
And
More
then
than
we
you
will
might think.
have South
Creating a strategic
versus
game plan in
Mid-South.
rugby is key to winning. A sevens match can change in an instance, so you need to have a strong defense, solid offense, and the flexibility to move between the two. It's the same for finding success in your financial life, whatever that means to you. Setting up a game plan that can help you tackle life is crucial for financial success. A good coach has knowledge of the game, sets goals for the team, and creates a strategy, which can be critical to achieving success both on and off the pitch. And when it comes to your financial life, having a relationship with a good advisor can be just as valuable to help you plan and meet your goals. Having the confidence that you're strong enough to play every minute as hard as the first gives you the best possibility to succeed during a match. And being financially fit gives you the ability to tackle opportunities and live life with confidence, knowing that if the unexpected happens, you're protected.
Commitment. You know preparation. You know the game plan. You know exhilaration. You know rugby.
And we're back, 2019 NSCRO All-Star Tournament. This is first game of day 2. It's a replay of last year's final between the Pacific Coast Grizzlies and the Northeast Rhinos. But unlike last year where it was a pretty evenly matched game, today it's been all Grizzlies in the first half. It's 22-0 in favor of the men from the left coast. Chris Pugh has the kickoff, and Michael Tumasimi from Cal Maritime Academy has a deep kick going back into the hands of Comerford. Excuse me, that's Shane O'Neill. O'Neill takes it up, and he doesn't get very far. Tazi now getting it outside to Miller. Miller with an exit strategy. And he has it into touch right inside the 40.
Touch. It's going to be a throw-in for the Grizzlies.
Probably not exactly the kick that he was looking for. I'm sure he would have liked Preston Spear to be coming up at speed there to take that ball on down the field. But it bounced into touch. A little bit of a communication error there, folks. Grizzlies have the throw-in. It looks like Max Cook is set to go up. He fakes, and it goes to Tamanaka Tehi. And now outside, the big Saafi Tui rumbling down the field. Oh, he goes 20 meters before he's taken down. Wolf with the ball, gets it to Otair. Otair, the workhorse, takes it up another 3 meters. Now Tumasimi looking for space, finds none but makes some. Gets it outside to John Gray. John Gray to Santiago. Santiago's knocked it on, and the Rhinos have possession now. No advantage gain there. Referee's going to go back and talk to his AR. Wants to make sure he's not missing anything. While the Grizzly did fall on the ball that was in goal. It's going to be awarded a try. And that is going to be, not sure who fell on that, but
penalty try or try awarded to Pacific Coast.
But that was all set up by the rumbling run off the line out of Soafi Tui. And Tui, the big man, just rumbled right upfield, put the Rhinos on their back feet, then O'Tear, then outside to Tumasimi. There was a brief knock-on in which Rhinos had the ball, but they coughed it up, and a Grizzly fell on it in goal. That's enough for the try. John Gray is the one we're
Number
hearing
12,
scored
John
the try.
Gray scored the try.
Quick thinking by the inside center. Fall on the ball there. Tumasimi with the conversion to come. And he rolls that thing, bends it right into the post for another 2 points. 29-0 is the score.
After the try scored by Gray.
Rhinos bring on some replacements as Josh Synott, the big man in number 16, comes on. Ben Connolly.
The score at this time is in favor of the
I don't think that's Ben Connolly, number 20. Connolly doesn't have a head of hair like that. And number 22 is Brad Marston. Marston, so good yesterday when he came in off the bench. Grizzlies with the ball now running. That's Tae. The Kiwi with the strong run. Wolf with the boot over. Puts O'Neal under pressure. He spins it outside. Finding Kyle O'Connor. O'Connor finally wrapped up after he makes about 15 minutes out. Tazi now out to, they're saying that's Connolly. Stolen though. Show and go. From Aldo McGrath.
Knocked on by Pacific Coast.
Knocked it on.
From Rhinos put in.
As he's tackled. Aldo McGrath on the field, looks like for Dominic Salvatierra. And saw another new face out there, number 25, Logan Zampa. Zampa with who stepped into play 8 yesterday and did such a good job. Gabriel Martinez coming in for Jonah Wolf. And Alex Treat.
From after a number of replacements from both sides.
Is coming in for Danon Matthews. Or is that Oliveira? That's Isaac Carroll. Excuse me. Treat coming in for Carroll. And then Noto's coming off as well. Jamal Milton running up to the 4th officials table. And Davidovitz has come off for the Rhinos as well and has gone to see the ATs. And that's put Gash Glider back at 8. Connolly is in, but it looks like he's wearing the number 6. Looks like he's wearing the number 6 instead of the number 20. Outside wide to Cochran. Cochran feeds it outside to Martell. And penalty called, dangerous tackle on the Grizzlies.
Penalty. Northeast takes advantage, kicks to touch. We'll have the throw in at the lineout.
Jamal Milton's coming on now for the Grizzlies. As is Keith Kahili for the Rhinos. Jeremy Santiago coming off for the Grizzlies. Jamal Milton, such a speedster, so hard to tackle. Darts in and around. We've seen him run circles around folks before. Now Miller out to Conley, it looks like. Kick downfield. It's gathered up by Eddington. Eddington with the step. Eddington finds his man, Julius Williams. Williams cutting back inside. Finds a seam. He rolls. He's tackled by 4 Rhinos. But he has plenty of support there. Martinez digs it out. Feeds to Masimi. Masimi outside to Miller. Miller going outside. Finding the big man, Zappa. Zappa going in. Is Zappa in there? Oh, he makes it right to the goal line, but he's tackled. What a run by Zampa. We've seen that from him again. Nagabla, the man with the legs, the quadzilla. Martinez spins it out. And Jacob Jenkins dives in for the try time.
Try by number 14, Jacob Jenkins.
What an exciting run of play there from the Grizzlies. Just working it down the field in team fashion until they got it outside to their man, Jacob Jenkins. He's been dangerous today already. Got a brace in his first game yesterday. Got a brace in this game. This guy is looking like he's heading to be man of the tournament if he keeps up this pace. Jacob Byers coming on for Tumanaka Tei now. Tei has put in a nice shift at 5. Tumasime from the right. His kick doesn't have the distance or the...
Just a bit short for Tumasimi.
Or the height.
And right now, Pacific Coast leads Northeast 34-0.
This is not a situation that Northeast had been in before. They are not used to being down 34-0. Kicked over, goes right into McGrath's hands. McGrath spins out to Tumasime, who heads straight up, as Kabla. Tumasime's kick is blocked, and Martinez kicks it a little bit back, enough for Mickey Miller to pick it up. A little bit of scrappy ball there. Martinez with the chip up and over. Doesn't have near as much chase as he likes. Comerford has it. And he spins it out to Nate Bradstreet. Bradstreet out to Kahali. Kahali spins it outside to what looks like Jacob Davis, who's finally tackled up. Now inside, it's brought to the number 20. I think that's Cody Duplessis. And now Miller with the ball driving forward. Tazi outside. It's bobbled out of one hand, but into another. And it's not a knock-on, so it's driven forward. Tough tackling and counter rucks here from the Grizzlies. Not letting the Rhinos have a whole lot of space. But the Rhinos are maintaining possession. Now Tazi driving up. Ball seems to be knocked forward, but there's a penalty on the play. Time off for referee's time. He's calling the captain up so we can have a talk with him and what looks like Tui. So Afi Tui getting second talk to that he's had this weekend. And it's going to be a penalty only for the big man. Gash Glider with a nice little run over there to the right.
Penalty was for hands
Rhinos
in the ruck.
setting up.
Moving forward.
Diving over is the call. Rhinos with
Another
the quick
penalty.
tap. Quick tap by the Rhino leads him back into midfield. Spins out. Finds. And Jay Byers is just absolutely dumped by little Jamal Miller. And coming back to a penalty over on this side. Not 10 is the call.
Another penalty for Pacific Coast not going back 10.
Quick tap by the Rhinos. They're threatening inside. Outside to Miller. Miller spins outside. Finds O'Connor, who's moved into the outside center position. Miller back inside to Synot. Synot rumbling in. Gets the first points on the board for the Rhinos today.
For the Northeast Rhinos.
Josh Synot, the big man, with a rumbling run. 5 meters.
Forward by Josh Synot.
Going to be very hard to stop him at that pace. $34 to 7 is the score. Grizzlies up over the Rhinos.
In favor of the Grizzlies, 34-7 over the Northeast Rhinos.
Tumasimi's kick is high. Goes back to Conley. Conley, the veteran player here today, has played for Mystic River in the past. Driving forward by the Rhinos, but they're met hard. And that's Jacob Davis, who's brought down by that tough tackle by Gabla. Bobble ball outside. And looks like Nate Bradstreet with the run. And diving over is the call on the Rhinos.
Time off. The penalty is for diving over.
Tap and go by Miller. Show and go by Miller, and he's stepping through. Angel Rodriguez wraps him up after he rumbles 10 meters. Tough run by the fly half there. Now Parrish. Now coming up on Josh Synot again, the try scorer. Out to Miller. Miller got his back line. Has O'Neal. O'Neal stepping through, but he's wrapped up by John Gray. Did not release the ball, though, says Chris Pugh. Gabriel Martinez is going to come back And he's being told to settle down, be patient by his coaches. Tumasime takes the kick. It's long. It's down the field. And it is into touch deep inside Rhino territory.
Penalty kick goes long. Meters away from the goal line. It will be a throw-in for Pacific Coast.
Logan Zappa to take the throw in for the Grizzlies. Goes up. Miller cleans it up for him, though. It was spoiled ball. Gabla and company back in position. Gabla making a run. The spin, but Conley has him wrapped up. Martinez out to Tumasime. John Gray, ball's wrapped up, and it goes outside to O'Neal. O'Neal picks up the bobble ball, and now the Rhinos are charging forward. Brad Marston with the run there. Now Jacob Davis again. Miller kicks. Try and get Comerford under it, but the wind takes it. And who comes up with it but Matt Zappa? Logan Zappa was seriously, you're not supposed to have a big front row 8-man there under a ball getting jump ball like that, but he says, I'm going to do it anyway. Matt Cornish now with the run for the, Cornish with the run for the Grizzlies. Tumasime stepping into the scrum half with Martinez in, and Martinez has it out. Finds Alex Treat, and Treat. Tumasime now. Gabla trying to find a seam, but he's wrapped up, and he puts the ball into Jamal Milton's hands, but it goes just a tad bit forward, says Pugh, who is standing right on the seam.
Tap forward. Scrum, it will be Northeast put in.
Put in by the Rhinos. Tazi goes to the back of the scrum. Feeds out to Miller. Miller to O'Neal. O'Neal trying to make a run. He's coughed it up. It's a double knock on, but there's a penalty advantage on for the Rhinos. For offsides. Tazi with the tap and go. Miller outside. Puts it to Cochran. Cochran to Conley. Conley, the veteran, again going through. This man's played in the national championship before. He's kind of got an idea of what to do. Coughed up by the Rhinos. Jamal Milton. He's wrapped up hard by Gash Glider. Now Martinez. Miller. Miller outside. Feeds to the Gabla. Gabla out to McGrath. McGrath to Zappa. Zappa brought down over on the right side, but not before he feeds outside. And can't see if that's a try or not, but it looks like Jacob Jenkins got another one to his favor. No, it's going to be a scrum over there as it's a knock-on.
Flag is up. We may have a knock-on waiting for the referee.
So knock-on into touch is the call. By the Rhinos, so the ball goes to the Grizzlies.
And the ball goes to touch. Looks like it's going to be a throw at the lineup.
Zampa with the throw in for the Grizzlies. Somehow or the other, a Rhino got their mitts on it, and it went into touch off of their mitts. McGrath can't get a handle on it, and Tazi picks it up, but he's tackled back in goal, and penalty for hands in.
Penalty.
Tap and go by Milton.
To the ruck by Pacific Coast.
Milton balls out quickly. Cochran to Conley. Conley outside, and O'Connor with a strong run there and a strong tackle put on him. Counter ruck from the Grizzlies. Coughs up the ball. Martinez darts through the post. And Martinez is in. Tumasimi steps in for scrum half. Now outside. He's got Treat. Treat feeds up to Rodriguez. Angel Rodriguez. Driving his legs. Biding time. Martinez now out to Gray. Gray the try scorer. Outside. And Jacob Jenkins. No, it's not Jenkins.
And the try is scored for Pacific Coast.
That's
by
25.
An unknown number there.
Logan Zampa is the try scorer. And the hooker front row 8-man is playing hooker right now. He's the Swiss Army knife of the Grizzlies forwards. And man can rumble and score tries as well. Little blood coming off for the Grizzlies, as Matt Cornish has to go see the AT.
Before the conversion to score.
I have it back there. Okay, just plug this one in real quick.
For the conversion, DBS Rugby Tours has partnered with NSCRO to offer its teams access to invite-only rugby tournaments, exclusive coaching camps in the U.S., and coach education clinics both in the USA and in Europe. For more information, go to dbsrugbytours.com or contact Connor Banahan, head of rugby at Connor at dbssports.com. I'm just going to say Connor B. And kick is wide to the right, and that's the game. 39-7 is the score in favor of the Grizzlies.
That is the match today. The Pacific Coast Grizzlies come out ahead 39-7 over the Northeast Rhinos.
Stick with us, folks. We've got another game coming up directly after this.
Play with our hearts. We don't play with sticks, bats, or gloves. We don't wear shoulder pads or helmets. We keep playing when it hurts. And we leave everything on the field. What we wear must be built for our game. In our game, we play with...
All right, welcome back, rugby fans. We've
All
got
right,
another.
now we're about to kick off this match between the Mid-South Mud Dogs and LoneStar. The center referee is Drew Lowe. Our ARs today are Becca Portlock and Stephen Bone.
All right. LoneStar Rattlers on the right in the white and blue. On the left in the solid blue with red shoulders is the Mid-South Mud Dogs. Mud Dogs returning their team, Matt Rockefeller, Spencer Parrish, and Brendan Petrelli at front row.
The referees today are having a great time.
Josh Reynolds and Dylan Ferguson at lock. Justin Wrighton, Rylan Stone, and John Messing at the back row. Riley Cornelius and Jack Brine team up at halfback. In the midfield, it's Logan Johnson and Nick Cuddleback. At the wing, Gerard Ball and Brendan Falk. And Will Greenslade comes back into the fullback position.
And he likes to share too. For all. Thank you, Kevin.
Drew Lowe is our man in the center. And he's telling the teams it's time to switch sides.
Referee Drew Lowe is calling the teams in to switch sides.
So the Rattlers will be on the left and the Mud Dogs on the right as you're viewing, folks. For the Rattlers, Daniel Rodriguez, Mobilelo Makungo, and Jose Alaman at the front row. Lucas Snitkin and Chris Palmer at lock. Link Ernard, Dustin Elizondo, and Cesar Escajeda at the back row. Kevin Reed and Anthony Signorelli at halfback. Brian Switzenberg and Travis Berger in the midfield. DeMarcus Cobb, Vincent Whetstone at wing, and Jordan Stanley, the human highlight reel, at fullback. The game is on as Escajeda kicks downfield, and it's picked up by Riley Stone. Stone forward to the 10. Ball's out to, looks like, Greenslade. Riley, it's out and bobbled up and being driven, and the Mud Dogs are being driven backwards by the Rattlers. Bobble ball, no advantage gain, says Drew Lowe, and we're going to have a scrum to the Rattlers early on. Put in now by Reed. He has it out to Signorelli. Signorelli back inside to Stanley. Stanley dancing. Stanley. And he's in for the try for the Rattlers. As we called him, the human highlight reel.
The Rattlers get the first try over the Mud Dogs.
Five to nothing. This is the score for the Rattlers. Escajeda's conversion to come. And Escajeda stepping in today to coach and to captain and to manage the squad. A lot of work for a young man. And he's been here before. He was here last year. But he's putting a lot of work in, and it's paying off for the Rattlers as early days in this match. Kicks up. He has the sticks up. 7-0 is the score now.
Esqueda scores the conversion. Scores in favor of the Rattlers.
And it is 7-0 to the Rattlers now. Coming back to the line. Brian with the kick. Kick finds Cobb. Out to Signorelli. Signorelli running kind of sideways, looking for Berger. Berger inside to Lincoln Ernard. And now out again to Signorelli. Signorelli to Switzenberg. Switzenberg making a go for it, making some meters. Great work there by Switzenberg. Now going to Snicken. Snicken, the rumbling runner from yesterday, knowing no direction but forward. Signorelli to Berger. Little mistimed, and it's picked up by the Mid-South. Brilliant tackle there by Lincoln Ernard, though. Raleigh Cornelius digs it out and gets it out to his forwards. Cornelius digging out again. Out to Jack Bryan. Jack Bryan puts over the top, but going to be called back for an earlier knock on by the Rattlers.
How you doing, my friend?
All right. And
jumping from safe to safe.
We've been joined in the commentators booth by Sabercats extraordinaire hooker Amro
Coming
Gouda.
back for a scrum, we're going to have LoneStar put the ball in.
Amro, you had a great game. You came in for penalty sub early on, or yellow card sub early on, and then later in the game came on and had a couple of nice cleanouts in the ruts. How'd you feel with the win last night?
Yeah, it was definitely pretty good. Really excited about it. It's the second one in a row. That's building some good momentum. So that's exciting, man. I'm very excited about that. I obviously got some good minutes. That was pretty excited. Wasn't too upset with Pat for getting a yellow card there.
gave you some minutes.
Yeah, it gave me some minutes there. So that was
almost, but the ball goes to touch. It will be
ball's knocked into touch by Gerard Ball. Ball
the Rattlers
had speed, had space at that time. Amro, you look like you got a little bit of a black eye and some stitches there. Is that from last night or last week?
We'll say I know it was this week for sure.
In practice, huh?
No, I don't even know what happened. I was playing in the game and I just saw something. I was like, what's going on? Touched my face. You know how it is with rugby sometimes.
Yep.
So got it stitched up, wrapped up, finished the game off. It was good.
Drew Lowe talking to the front rows, making sure their shoulders are square and straight. Had a little problem earlier in the first game with that and got it straightened out. We've had some pretty safe scrums today otherwise. Put in by the Rattlers. Goes back to Escajeda. Reed digs it out straight to Signorelli. And it's picked up by the Mud Dogs. They're on the counterattack now, close in. And you can tell the Mud Dogs are hungry. Petrelli there with the cleanout, but it's stolen. Escajeda chips up and under. He's looking for space. And that's Brendan Vaught.
Penalty,
Vaught.
quick tap and run.
Greenslade doesn't tap and go, but he's tackled into touch, going back to the line out to the Rattlers.
Number 14, Will Glenslade.
Amro, this is your practice field, isn't it?
Oh, yes. It's a beautiful field. I'm really excited about it, honestly. Oh, I said I'm real excited about it. It's actually a real nice field. You know, the facilities have definitely come along this year, especially from that last game we had with Seattle to last night. Even like the main field, it looked wonderful, man. Honestly, we were just walking off and we were just like, wow.
It's just a few weeks of over 65-degree weather every night makes the roots grow.
Huh? Oh, 100%. 100%. Yeah, this practice field's great too. It's nice to just have nice grass and be off turf, and it's good for everything, So
Escajeda's throw in there goes short and supposed to find Jose Alaman, but Alaman bobbles it up and it goes to touch.
Goes back to touch.
Now Spencer Parrish with the throw in for the Mud Dogs. Ball's out. Goes to Josh Reynolds. Reynolds driven up and almost a touch, but this team keeps him in. Now Riley Cornelius out to Brian. Palmer meeting a man in the middle, tackling him down. And penalty there is the call. Tackler release did not. Tackler assist did not release.
Mud Dogs are going to attempt the post.
Greenslade would like to make a kick at post here for the Mud Dogs. Impact Custom Mouth Guards, the official mouth guard of NSCRO and Major League Rugby. Handcraft your guard to fit perfectly. Talk, breathe, even drink with it in. You will love the thin profile of your Impact Custom Mouth Guard. Impact Mouth Guards, official sponsor and mouth guard provider of NSCRO Rugby. Just put one in front of you. Greenslade looked like he was taking the kick, but he's giving it up to Jack Bryan. Kick is up. It does not have the sticks up. It's wide to the left. 22-meter drop
conversion
to the
kick by Jack Bryan is missed.
To the Rattlers. And Cesar Escajeda is calling for ball so he can make the drop kick. Cesar Escajeda is Mr. Everything for the Rattlers. His kick deep downfield and not picked up by Vaught or by Cornelius, and it's going to roll into touch, giving a good return for the Rattlers. This ball is going to be put in by the Mud Dogs, but the Rattlers got to like their field position here.
Throw in.
Amro, what's your thought process when you're throwing in from a position like this on the field?
So right here, most likely you're going to get a contest. So the downside right now is there's a good bit of wind. That's usually something you have to account for there and kind of judge. So it kind of limits you for the most part to go too far back because, obviously the further back you go, the harder to throw. So they'll probably go, they're going short line out here just to kind of trying to get in, get out, just straight to the point. They'll probably just go straight front ball there. Boom, go up and just kind of get out. So a lot of times midfield, you want to kind of think about setting up, your backline for a good maybe backline play and edge play, depending on, the conditions, of course. But they opted to just kind of go short, get out because it's windy probably.
And that's exactly what the Mud Dogs have done all weekend. Found Dylan Ferguson at the front jumper every time. Here they've had Josh Reynolds run it up the middle while their back line sets up, trying to get the ball out. Now it's out wide to Vaught and bobbled up. Picked up by the Rattlers now, and that is Escajeda carrying the ball. Now to big Mr. Palmer. Palmer outside to Dustin Elizondo. Bobbling up. Signorelli wants to bridge pass it way out wide to Whetstone, but it's already being whistled up for a knock-on back. No advantage game. We're going to have a knock-on and bring a scrum back to the Rattlers here. And Amro,
we have a knock-on, and it's going to be a scrum.
When you're in scrum, and
Rattlers put in.
How are you choosing channel 1 or channel 2 at some points as you're going to hook it back?
Yeah, ideally, you want to give it the most direct route to the back of the scrum. Give a nice ball for the 8-man. Kind of just depends. A lot of times I just go, gap 1, get it in right under the loose head, get it back. Have a little angle, hook on it, try to get it, through the locks legs, get it back. But as Grant, scrumming is a lot of little things.
A lot of little things
that add up to a lot of big things. So that's just one of the little things that you have to think about in the scrum,
For the Rattlers, Travis Berger, the outside center's come off, and Nicholas Garayua has come on. George Stanley trying to get it up the middle. He feeds it back out to Signorelli. Bounces up to Garayua's hands. This is his first touch on the ball this weekend. He's up to Whetstone. Whetstone dancing around inside. He gets tackled up. Reed now digging it out. Signorelli. Switzenberg out to Signorelli again. Outside to Daniel Rodriguez. Signorelli. Nobody there, so he's going to take himself and wait. He finds Cobb. Cobb running on the outside. DeMarcus Cobb has all kinds of space and goes in for the try.
And it's a try for LoneStar.
That's a try that makes the forwards happy. It's going to get outside.
Oh, yes, definitely. It's real nice when you look up and you just see something real nice by your back line, a nice
try was
pass,
scored by DeMarcus
nice try,
Cobb.
and then you kind of, get to, high five him, jog back, get some water, breathe a little bit.
Marcus Cobb from Angelo State University. Real speedster. Last year, didn't get as much time on the field as he would have liked. Had some other speedsters in front of him. But this year, he's definitely making his mark as he tries to make sure he's in support. Signorelli that time had numbers on his side, but not everybody was set up. So when he took to run, the defense keyed in on him, gave him just enough time to feed that ball out to Cobb. Wind's picked up out here, and Escajeda's having a hard time keeping that ball on his tee as he sets up for the conversion. Escajeda's kick is up. It looks like it's inside to the left. And folks,
Conversion is
Rhino
missed.
Rugby is the official NSCRO
now,
equipment
LoneStar
and ball
leads
supplier.
12-0
NSCRO thanks Rhino
over the
Rugby
Big
for their
South
support
Bulldogs.
of small college rugby by providing the Rhino Vortex Elite match balls and referee jerseys. To outfit your team with equipment, apparel, and balls that facilitate improved performance, go to rhinorugby.com. Coming back to the kickoff is Brian. High hanger. Goes into the hands of Switzenberg, out to Signorelli. Out to George Stanley. Stanley the danger man. Oh, he's grabbed up by the neck. Penalty advantage is on. And Linkernard coming. Looked like penalty advantage was on, but there's no penalty advantage there.
Knock on by LoneStar.
Knock on by
Put in the scrum.
Bernard there,
Mud
and
Dogs.
it's going to be the Mud Dogs put in for Cornelius. Riley Cornelius, the feisty little scrum half for the Mud Dogs here, has had a hard day since Vince Duhigg went out yesterday with a concussion. So a lot of these guys, have you played in all-star games like this before, Amro?
Yeah, back in a little bit in college. So I didn't really go to a big rugby school like Lindenwood or Life University.
Where'd you go?
Like I went to UNCC, University of North Carolina, Charlotte. Actually,
And UNCC is an NSCRO college.
Yeah, actually, it's involved in this type of stuff. They actually played in the D2 Sevens final this last weekend. I think they came in third or fourth. So they were the defending champs last year. So they've been, doing, pretty well in the D2 department. So, maybe hopefully looking to move up here soon. But they're involved in, tournaments like this and stuff like that. So I've definitely been involved in my fair share of, I guess, little college tournaments as far as rugby is concerned.
And Mid-South will have the throw-in at the line-up.
Kevin Reed offsides at the scrum there, making a great tackle on Cornelius, but stepped a little bit ahead of the ball before he did so. He's going to give a line out to the Mud Dogs deep inside LoneStar territory. You may not know this, but years ago I was coach at Appalachian State University.
Oh, really?
And also one of the coaches on the Carolina, back then it was the Carolina Collegiate All-Stars.
Ah, what years was
back
this?
in 94, 95.
Oh, nice, man! App State. I actually almost went to Appalachian State University and played out there.
You would have been born on a mountaintop then.
I would have had a much bigger beard by now. I really would have. I have a lot of buddies that actually went out to App State. When I was because we played against them. They were in our division all the time. So we went back and forth all the time. They usually had a pretty good team.
I remember back in the mid '90s when UNCC had just started a team.
Yeah.
And they were coming up for our tournaments, and we were giving some extra players to them to fill out for the tournament.
Did you guys have Oktoberfest back in,
in your time? Yeah.
Ooh. See, I got to catch one or two seasons of it, one proper season of Oktoberfest, and that was a proper college experience. Let's just say that.
Escajeda with the pickup at the back of the scrum. Out to Reed. Reed cutting back inside. Escajeda again. Almost looked outside, but he noticed that wasn't his player and got an obstruction, didn't release as he was tackled to ground.
Penalty obstruction. Mud Dogs ball in the penalty.
Brian with the kick again. Petrelli telling Ferguson exactly what they're going to do with this one. Escajeda seems to know this is going to one jumper here.
Yeah, oh, for sure. Yeah. Especially, he's pretty tall, has some nice lengthy arms, we'll say.
Ferguson out to Cornelius, spinning out to the back line. A little bit of a bobble pass, but it's picked up by Nick Cuddleback. Cornelius now going to his number 6, John Messing. Messing having a great day yesterday for the Mud Dogs. Brian now, chip over the top, looking for a speed on the outside. And Stanley's back there. Taps it down in goal. We're going to come back for a 22-meter drop kick.
Ball tapped down, 22-meter drop kick.
Escajeda loses it in there, but it pops out. Gets a Rattler bounce, but a Rattler hand was in there, and it's going to be a penalty to the Mud Dogs.
Penalty to the Mud Dogs.
You know what a Mud Dog is, Amro?
Not.
You spent some time in New Orleans.
I have, yeah. I know it's a New Orleans term, but I'm not.
It's a Southern term.
Yeah.
Mud Dog's a catfish.
Okay. Now that you said that, actually, I have heard that term before.
Kick to touch is good. And folks, what does life insurance have to do with rugby? Visit PennMutual.com/rugby. Find out how Penn Mutual can be a part of your game plan for insuring life. Penn Mutual, your game plan for insuring life. Well, Amro, I'm probably going to have to ask you to give up the chair for a minute.
I know, right?
You got the man here.
When coach comes up, you just gotta. I'm gonna smoothly walk away too.
All right, thank you, Amro.
Appreciate you. It was nice sitting
Great
with
talking
you guys.
to you, man. Amro Good, hooker for the Houston SaberCats. We thank you for stopping by and chatting with us. LoneStar driving the ball up here. It's outside to DeMarcus Cobb, the try scorer. Cobb, little isolated, but he gets the ball back to his team. Reed now finds Snitkin outside to Rodriguez. Now Ernard, looping pass over the back to Stanley. Stanley's wrapped up by Josh Reynolds. Steve.
Knock on call by the referee. We will have a scrum. It will be the Mud Dogs put in.
And that was a great run by Stanley up the middle. Nice looping pass from Lee Kennard. Most of the time those passes over the shoulder don't seem to work near as well, but Kennard put enough oomph on it going backwards, and Stanley caught it at pace. Josh Reynolds just happened to get a hand on Stanley, though, and he gripped that paw on and wouldn't let go, knowing that if he did, it was going to be another 5 points for the Rattlers. Put in now by Cornelius. He lets his 8-man take it, and then he spins it, tries to run it out himself. Nobody stepping in for 8 until Dylan Ferguson, the lock, steps in to scrum half. Cornelius now looking for Petrelli. Petrelli met by 3 Rattlers, but he keeps driving his legs till he makes this gain line. And then coming out to the right is Cornelius. He's got, oh, what a great run through there by Nick Cuddleback. Cuddleback being brought down by Stanley. Great open field tackle by Stanley to save a try, possible try there. Now Cornelius dancing, but he can't dance his way past Escajeda and Stanley. Those guys are the veterans here. Now Brian outside finds Cuddleback running up to the middle, wrapped up by Switzenberg. Ferguson now trying to find a seam, but nothing's there but Reed. Now Parrish feeds out to Brian. Brian out to Reynolds. Reynolds gets it outside to Gerard Ball, and Ball knocks it on. We're going to come back to the penalty earlier on by the Rattlers.
Coming back to the penalty, originally caused by the Rattlers, it will be a penalty to the Mud Dogs.
The time is off right now.
Official time is off.
Fill up. It's warm now.
You get up there, Scott. You got the down. Yeah, whenever you lay down. Don't worry about it.
Looks like Nick Cuddleback coming limping off with a little bit of a leg injury. Excuse me, that's Jack Bryan. And looking like he's walking a little tender on that left leg. Mud Dogs are regathering to see exactly how they're going to face this
Penalty
next
to the Mid-South.
section.
The Rattlers being offside.
Will Greenslade taking over.
Mid-South is going to attempt for post, asking for a team.
David Pratt comes on for Jack Bryan. And Will Greenslade's waiting on his tee to come out there. Greenslade's setting up for the kick. Greenslade's kick is up. It has the sticks up. 3 points on the board for the Mud Dogs.
Gets Mid-South on the board with his penalty kick.
Scores now 12-3.
Mid-South 3.
And it is halftime, folks. Stay tuned with us. We will be back for more action here in just a minute.
You know commitment. You know preparation. You know the game plan. You know exhilaration. You know rugby. And when you want to try something new, when the unexpected happens, when you want to move on up, and when you're ready to retire, we'll be there because we know life. The Penn Mutual Life Insurance Company, your game plan for insuring life.
Have to do with rugby? More than you might think. Creating a strategic game plan in rugby is key to winning. A sevens match can change in an instance, so you need to have a strong defense, solid offense, and the flexibility to move between the two. It's the same for finding success in your financial life, whatever that means to you. Setting up a game plan that can help you tackle life is crucial for financial success. A good coach has knowledge of the game, sets goals for the team, and creates a strategy, which can be critical to achieving success both on and off the pitch. And when it comes to your financial life, having a relationship with a good advisor can be just as valuable to help you plan and meet your goals. Having the confidence that you're strong enough to play every minute as hard as the first gives you the best possibility to succeed during a match. And being financially fit gives you the ability to tackle opportunities and live life with confidence, knowing that if the unexpected happens, you're protected. Rugby and life insurance. They're closer than you think. Find out more at pennmutual.com/rugby.
And the second half of this match between LoneStar Rattlers and Mid-South Mud Dogs. Right now, the Rattlers are up 12-3 over the Mud Dogs.
Some changes on the field for both teams. Corbin McCowan comes on for DeMarcus Cobb, the try scorer on the Rattler side. And Simi Moala is back on today and been told that he's in jersey number 23 today. But he is, and he will be playing 8-man. Into Kevin Reed's hands. Reed dancing and coming up to the 10. Escajeda has the ball out. Signorelli spins wide to Switzenberg. Switzenberg outside Elizondo. Elizondo finds Corbin McCowan. Now Signorelli again. He finds Snicken this time, or excuse me, as Escajeda. Escajeda rumbling up. Now Jordan Stanley finds a seam. He skips out of the tackle from Simi Moala, passes it off to Berger. And even a Simi Moala hand will slow the speedsters down. Snitkin now, straight forward into traffic, has Palmer with him, and keeps driving those legs to make a few more meters. Escajeda spins out to Switzenberg. Switzenberg spins around, gives it inside to Alaman. Alaman has Elizondo and Switzenberg there in support. Reed to Escajeda now. Escajeda, Daniel Rodriguez. Rodriguez hit from behind, but it looked like it was just a mosquito bite to him. Now Signorelli. Comes up and trying to get it to the outside. Switzenberg again. Switzenberg not playing as neutral as his name would suggest. Now Link Hernard. Hernard to Snicken. Snicken shoves somebody off. Makes a little time for Palmer to get there. And drive him over. Now Reed. Signorelli. Spins out to Escajeda. Escajeda stepping. Escajeda looking. Escajeda finding Elizondo. Elizondo out to McCowan. McCowan bobbles it up. And it's going to be a scrum going back to the Mud Dogs here inside their territory.
Almost to the try line. Knocked on. Scrum. Mud Dogs put in.
Mud Dogs with the put in here and deep inside their territory. I think we might see a push from the Rattlers. Drive here from the Rattlers is good. Pratt. That's Greenslade with the run now. Then a couple more changes to the Mud Dogs here. Moala now running, creating support and time. Now Kelvin Lee has stepped in to the scrum half position with the number 8 on his back for the Mud Dogs. Knocked on there. And there's another
players coming in.
Jonathan Blesser coming on for Mubulelo Makungo. Makungo coming off, and the Ram from Angelo State University haven't had a great game so far. And looks like we've got referee's time on the field as AT has to come on, is being called on by the referee.
Coming on for LoneStar.
Possible head knot. Scrum here going, and Kelvin Lee with the put in now. Looks like Riley Cornelius has come off, and Riley Cornelius has moved out to fly half.
Penalty to the Mud Dogs, offsides by the Rattlers.
And that's Kevin Reed's second call for offsides at the scrum. Drew Lowe having a bit of a chat with him to let him know exactly what he expects there. Impact Mouthguards provides custom fit, BPA-free, dental-grade mouthguards direct from the lab that produces guards. And down the field, the Mud Dogs go, having passed it out. They would tap and go and exited out wonderfully on that one. That's Dylan Ferguson there with the carry. Now Lee outside to Moala. Moala stepping inside, being wrapped up by Elizondo, but slipping out of it. Now three Rattlers take him down. And that was a strategy yesterday on Moala, is when his teammates with the Northeast came up against him, is to put 3 tacklers on him every time he carried the ball. And that pretty much kept him to a few meters, if any at all, yesterday. LoneStar would be smart to do the same here. Mud Dogs kicking the touch, doesn't go to touch. Signorelli picks up, spins out to Jordan.
Back to
Jordan looking for a space, doesn't find it. He's pulled down by David Pratt. Pratt is chasing after the kick, but Signorelli loosens one, and it spins downfield. It's going to slow up right there inside Mud Dog 22, Greenslade, to pick it up, look at his options, see where he needs to go. Out to Moala. Moala coming forward, seeing space. Samoan sidestep on to Snitkin. And he's at the 50, bringing that ball back a ways. Palmer counter-rucking hard for the Rattlers, but getting nothing out of it. Yes, he does. Signorelli now into Jordan. Jordan dancing. Jordan wrapped up by Greenslade out to Signorelli. And outside to Berger. Berger to McCowan. McCowan receives a forward pass for Berger.
Forward pass called. Scrum.
A little bit of stoppage on the play, folks. As I was saying, Impact Mouthguards provides custom-fit, BPA-free dental-grade mouthguards direct from the lab that produces guards for many dentists throughout the U.S. NSCRO teams can save 40% when they order their kits from Impact. Individuals can save 15%. For more information, go to www.impactmouthguards.com or contact Frank Rabinovich via email at frank@impactprotectionllc.com. A little bit of water on the field as the player's getting checked out, and the heat has come up to 94 degrees and the winds died down to about 8 to 10 miles an hour. Chris Palmer coming off for the Rattlers, and Palmer has put in a great shift this weekend when he can see with that hair. And Jed Greenberg, a local man from Rice University, steps in to take his place at lock. Escajeda has moved up to loosehead prop. Moala now at inside center, just rumbling along. Outside to Pratt. Pratt trying to find a hole. He's being tackled up outside by Berger. Now Ferguson. Ferguson met hard by Rodriguez, but not before he offloads it. Kelvin Lee digging the ball out for the Mud Dogs. And looking to spin it out to Moala. Moala. Oh, he just gives a little kick over to Greenslade. Now McCowan with the intercept on Greenslade's pass to Vaught. Vaught being a little bit far ahead of his pass. And Vaught spins in. He wants to make a difference here. Out to Parrish. Out wide. Going to the number 6, John Messing. And Messing out finds, that looks like Gerard Ball, who's taken into touch.
So we're going to have a throw in by LoneStar in the lineout.
If your team got its new Rhino Rugby team store gear, custom tracksuits, t-shirts, polos, and more are now available to teams. Go to rhinorugby.com to get started. Bobble ball, Snitkin trying to get it knocked on by the Mud Dogs, but first knock on was by LoneStar, says Drew Lowe. Scrum.
Knock on by LoneStar.
In and
Scrum, it will be the Mud Dogs put in.
Patrick Newton coming on for Gerard Ball. Of the Mud Dogs. Put in here by Lee. Drew Lowe being careful to make sure the teams are evened up. Lee gets it out to Pratt. To Moala at inside center. Moala back inside to Greenslade. Greenslade makes it up inside the 22. Pratt now feeds out to Vaught. Vaught bobbles it up. And this is, but not before McCowan picks it up. Excuse me, that's Switzenberg. And now the Rattlers have control. Reed gives it to Daniel Rodriguez. Daniel Rodriguez rumbling forward. Now Signorelli outside to Escajeda. Escajeda out to Link Ernard. Ernard back inside to Whetstone. Driving forward is Jed Greenberg now with the ball. Jordan Stanley dances around his tackler. Messing can't bring him down before he's offloaded. Stanley steps into scrum half. Now Switzenberg. Now outside. Elizondo on the outside. Elizondo finds Snitkin. Snitkin on the outside. Rumbling forward. He's brought down by Moala. Reed digs it out. Switzenberg cleans it up. Signorelli looking for space. Signorelli at the seam. Signorelli looking for help. He's got Escajeda coming. Escajeda on the support. Puts on the Jets. And it's try time to the Rattlers.
Rattler try by Escajeda. Cesar Escajeda scoring that try.
No, it's the Rattlers. Marcus Cobb coming back onto the field, this time for, looks like Switzenberg, who's put in a strong shift today. Escajeda going for the kick. Are you looking to build a career that can make a positive difference in the lives of others? Team up with Penn Mutual and give it a try at PennMutual.com/rugby. Penn Mutual, your game plan for ensuring life.
Escajeda converts his own try, bringing the score in favor of LoneStar, 19-3 over the Mud Dogs.
We call Escajeda Mr. Everything here, and we mean it. Kicks for posts, kicks for kickoffs, captains aside, coaches aside, managers aside. Pretty impressive for a young man who's still in college. I've got Nigel Saunders, president of the West Houston Lions Rugby Club, sitting down with me in the booth now as Escajeda picks up the ball in the kickoff, gives to Snicken. One of those rumbling, straightforward runs that he's known for. Outside to Cobb. Cobb spins it out wide, finds Jed Greenberg. Greenberg driving forward, finds space. Greenberg the lot. Stretches his legs out, but Pratt brings him down from behind. He's inside the 22, though, and outside to Link Ernard. Ernard driving straight forward and offloads. The Rattlers about to dig it out, but there's a penalty there. Looks like holding on to the ball too long. Nigel, you played a bit of rugby in your life, didn't you?
I did indeed. I started my career as a young boy out here and at 10 years old in the UK. I managed to play for Devon. I got into senior rugby at the age of 19. I got my England B cap, had a season with Bath, and played most of my senior rugby with Plymouth Albion.
Wow, so been a little bit of a high level in the rugby there.
Yep.
So coming over here to the States, you're a diver by trade as well,
Correct.
Which in my opinion is a crazy occupation, a sat diver at that.
Yeah.
You and I know, we've talked long about that. I mean, what brought you to Texas?
Primarily my work in the diving industry. There was lots of work subsea, so I moved from Singapore, where I was growing rugby in Singapore, as well as working, and came over. And as soon as I landed, I searched out my next rugby club and established ourselves here in Houston to develop more rugby within Houston and grow the sport.
So Nigel, the developer here. Petrelli taking the tap and go, a high tackle by the Rattlers on the Mud Dogs. And Rattlers here flirting with a offsides penalty. Duhigg trying to drive forward. Rattlers trying to hold him up. And Jordan Stanley digs that ball out. Stanley stepping through. Stanley's got a hole in space.
That's a great tackle.
Ankle tap by Moala is able to stop Stanley up.
Great tackle.
Moala has been something else all weekend. He was a great player last year. Made the all-tournament side last year. Definitely going to be making it somewhere this year. Today, he has been whatever the Mid-South needs him to be. And now it's Moala again carrying the ball, and he's put in a lot of work today. Going forward, Ferguson. And dangerous tackle there on Ferguson. A little bit difficult for Jordan Stanley, as short as he is, to put in a dangerous tackle. But he definitely did it. Driving forward, outside to Gerard Ball. Gerard Ball gets pulled down from behind by Whetstone. That was a great tackle. Now Pratt. Pratt's got a hole, but he wants to feed out to Riley Stone. Stone driving forward. Greenslade to Pratt. Pratt outside, and it is coughed up by Josh Reynolds. A little bit of a respite there for the Longhorns. So, Nigel, I understand, as being a member of your club, you have been looking for land for the club, and you found some. Tell us about that land.
So it's been a year project. We've been searching for our own playing ground to, again, develop rugby within Houston. And we were looking at several plots, and we finalized last week on a 30-acre plot out on the edge of Katy towards Brookshire, which is 2 fields, total of 30 acres, and we're looking to put 5 pitches, a clubhouse, and have parking for around 150 to 200 cars.
Wow, that's ambitious for a club that's how old?
This is coming into our 3rd season this season, so this coming season will be our 3rd year. But we had it in our business plan that we would have our own playing facilities. But it's not just about a club. We're trying to develop facilities to grow the sport.
Switzenberg breaking away after the pass from Signorelli. He's got Greenslade to beat. Going for the corner. Greenslade's got him wrapped up. Switzenberg outside to McCowan. McCowan stepping back in. He's wrapped up by 3 Mud Dogs and taken down. And not before his teammates are there. DeMarcus Cobb passes it out. Reed cleans it up. Reed is tackled, but with a nice seatbelt tackle. He taps and goes out to Signorelli.
LoneStar who taps it quickly.
Signorelli to Escajeda. Escajeda tapping through. He's got speed on his wing, but it looks like it's going to go touch and goal. Bring it back to either a scrum or a 22-meter drop. The Mud Dogs. The Mud Dogs decision.
Straight out the end.
So, when you talk about developing rugby, you're talking about a complete structure, right?
Absolutely.
You're talking about not just a club for men, but a club for, I mean, we have over 280 people just registered with USA Rugby in the club.
Correct, that's right.
And in 3 years to make that happen, that's huge.
Yeah, it's been a massive commitment, a lot of commitment from individuals. There's been some key individuals to make that happen. Sadly, some have to move on, but we've got a lot of remainers, and our focus is to continue to grow at least by 100 members year on year for the next 4 years.
That is ambitious. Bernard's pass.
LoneStar looks like diving in the ruck.
Bernard's pass goes to touch, but LoneStar gains a penalty out of it. They're going to kick for touch here.
Intentional not called.
So what are your plans with a 5-acre or a 5-pitch facility? What do you want to do with that?
Well, it's going to happen in a couple of phases over the next year or so, but we're looking to have 2 pitches set up ready to go for this summer for 7s, and then moving on to the end of this season to have an additional pitch. By next season, I have the full 5 pitches, full-size pitches, up and ready to play on for next summer.
Awesome. Taking the ball up is Josh Reynolds driving forward for the Mud Dogs. Alleman had the ball off the quick tap for the Rattlers, but coughed it up. Now the Mud Dogs are trying to get out of their own end, running the ball. Moala now out there on the outside center position, taking it forward, but the Rattlers seem to have understood what they need to do when he has the ball, and that's put more than 2 men up. Greenslade with a great tackle on Josh Messing there. Petrelli again, rumbling forward for meters. Almost every time he gets the ball, he's making a few meters, just on momentum. David Pratt, outside Cuddlebank, outside to Gerard Bell. Bell driving forward. Now Lee has it out. And that is Riley Stone with the carry there. Gets kind of spun around and twisted up for his troubles. Big Josh Reynolds again driving forward. Now, a little bit of a communication error there. Looks like that ball was supposed to go to Moala, and it did not. So you've got your ball boys out from your youth team today.
Yeah.
I understand your son's out here as well. You're telling me something. There goes Jordan Stanley splitting around the side. Nobody's touching him, and he's in for a try. Another 5 points for the Rattlers, bringing the score 24-3. So you said he was challenging somebody to a kicking contest. Is that true?
Yeah, one of the kickers from the college teams challenged him to a bit of a kicking competition. And as an under 13-year-old, my son Ben, he actually came out on top. But he's been re-challenged today for a rematch.
Oh man, you just can't get beat by a U13 player, can you?
No.
Does that guy know who coaches that kid?
Yeah, exactly. But he's been selected for the ERA tour this summer to Canada.
Oh,
so he's,
excellent.
He's just had his kit delivered, and he's ready to go in mid-July to join the ERA camp for this year's tour. So Yep, he's worked hard this season.
Great stuff. Great stuff from West Houston Lions Rugby Club. I'm glad to be a part of it. It was fun this year. It's going to be fun next year. Looks like it's going to be fun for a few years to come. Nigel,
thank you, Grant.
Thank you for your time here today.
Thank you, Grant.
And stopping by. Coming back to the game, the conversion attempt is on for Escajeda, who got beat by Ben Saunders yesterday in a kicking contest. But he's made that kick there, bringing the score 26-3, and that is your final score.
LoneStar Rattlers win 26-3 over the Mid-South Mud Dogs.
Let him, or Nick change things first. He's got to sit down and change things.
No, and there's not another game till 1.
Oh, yeah. Well,
I was just going to come sit and say hello.
Are we done till 1? Okay. Folks, we'll be back at 1 o'clock at the 2019 NSCRO All-Star Tournament, sponsored by Penn Mutual. We'll have 2 more games going on for you then. Don't miss it. We'll be back at 1 p.m. Thank you.
What does life insurance have to do with rugby? More than you might think. Creating a strategic game plan in rugby is key to winning. A sevens match can change in an instance, so you need to have a strong defense, solid offense, and the flexibility to move between the two. It's the same for finding success in your financial life, whatever that means to you. Setting up a game plan that can help you tackle life is crucial for financial success. A good coach has knowledge of the game, sets goals for the team, and creates a strategy, which can be critical to achieving success both on and off the pitch. And when it comes to your financial life, having a relationship with a good advisor can be just as valuable to help you plan and meet your goals. Having the confidence that you're strong enough to play every minute as hard as the first gives you the best possibility to succeed during a match. And being financially fit gives you the ability to tackle opportunities and live life with confidence, knowing that if the unexpected happens, you're protected. Rugby and life insurance. They're closer than you think. Find out more at penmutual.com/rugby.